Hey my little party animals, hiphiprenee here today with a combination speed build create a sim video. If you would like to skip the create a sim, you can just fast forward to about 2 minutes into the video and you'll be able to see the build. But this is part of the hiphiprebuilds series where I am rebuilding every single world in The Sims. And on top of that, this is actually also part of the sub-series of hiphiprebuilds called San Myshuno Stereotypes, where I am creating very stereotypical Sims to live in all of the different apartments in San Myshuno. So we today are doing the Starving Artist. So this girl is someone who maybe decided to skip out on college, or maybe she's taking a gap year in between finishing high school and heading off to, college or something. And she has decided to move herself into San Myshuno, and she is trying her darndest to make it as an artist. So I did originally start off with this purple hair, and just when I was trying to put the clothes on her, the purple hair was clashing with everything that I ended up liking, so I ended up just making her hair silver. I did want her to look a little fun, a little funky, somebody who can't afford the luxuries or the fineries in life because she spent all of her money on her easels and her canvases and just her trying to become an artist of some kind. So her clothes, I think they are super cute. I think she turned out absolutely adorable. Her name is Detemer Hagen. I did put that up in the beginning, but she is an art lover, she is creative, and she's also erratic. I wanted her to be a little bit of a wacky sim, because, I feel like anybody that's an artist, I might not be an artist as far as drawing, but I am a dancer, and I feel like that's artistry as well, but all artists are a little bit cuckoo cray, so I wanted to include that in her sim. And then of course with her apartment here, I wanted to make it as bright and fun and funky and colorful as humanly possible. I had a lot of fun building this apartment. I did end up cutting out, the small little bit of floor plan that there is. There's not really a floor plan. It's kind of more of a studio apartment. She does, of course, have a separate bathroom, and I do end up replacing this half wall with a full wall. I don't know, something about the half wall, as much as I wanted to make that work, I couldn't make it work. The green on the wall in the bedroom area was just far too different to the green of the appliances that I was coming up with. And I don't know, for some reason it looked a little clashy to me, but I think separating them, it made the colors seem like they were a little bit more, kind of similar. So I did want to, try and keep with, bright and fun and funky and colorful. So there's a lot of this kind of like corally green color in here. There's a lot of purples, there's a lot of blues, there's some pinks and yellows, and of course I really just wanted to make it look like the person that is living here, really expresses themselves a lot through color and through just, kind of cute, quirky, fun little items. So like the bread box that I put in here in the kitchen, of course I used the really funky one that looks like maybe it's been painted. There's a lot of just, really fun, colorful things in this apartment. I had a lot of fun building this one. It's a really small apartment, and I actually like this about this particular sim. There were a few others that I already have in mind for this series, but a lot of them were, larger sim families or roommates, or they had kids, and I just wasn't really feeling doing a family home. Not that I've really done a family home recently, which is very odd for me, because family homes, that's kind of my thing when I'm building in The Sims, and for some reason lately I have just not been feeling it, so I've been going a little bit more on the cuckoo crazy side as far as my build. Maybe not all colorful like this, although I did recently do an island living build that was very colorful. I have been really feeling the creepy, run-down, gross, disgusting builds lately. I think my last 2 builds were kind of in that genre. So the build that I did on Monday was the Seguin Island Lighthouse, which is a real lighthouse, and I did copy it from an actual photo of the real-life lighthouse, and then, of course, the inside, I couldn't really find too many pictures, and I took a lot of liberties inside of that one. And then the other one that I did was the Island Conspiracy House, which I thought was really cool as well. And I wanted to go a little bit in a different direction with this one. I used a lot of items that I don't normally use, and I used a lot of colors that I definitely do not normally use. So like this lighting fixture over on the side over here, the purple and pink thing, I believe that is from Spa Day, but I feel like it has the same colors as the movie Hangout Pack. So it could be from the movie Hangout Pack. I actually don't remember off the top of my head, but I felt like, that was definitely something that this type of sim would have in her house. As far as this feature wall over here, because she is an artist, I really wanted to put up as many paintings as I could that made it look like those are paintings that she has actually painted and she has put up in her own home. And I tried to keep that going kind of as a theme throughout the entire apartment, is that any piece of artwork that ends up on the wall is something that our starving artist has actually physically drawn or painted, or, whether she's using her tablet or what have you. I really wanted it to be very personalized for this particular sim. She's trying really hard to create all of this art and sell all of this art. Maybe she's not moving it as quickly as she was hoping. So instead of, just kind of letting it sit off in the corner of her apartment, she has hung it on the wall until she is able to sell it. I thought that was kind of a, nice, clever little idea of a way to make sure that her paintings weren't taking up too much storage space in her apartment. And then this little area over here right behind the living room and the kitchen is of course her painting area. I did give her 2 easels inside. She has some, just kind of jars of paint lying around. She has that really kind of gross painty rug as well. And then I did put down some newspaper also. I figured since she is in an apartment, it might make sense that she would want to make sure that she's not getting paint all over the floor, because she wants to get that security deposit back. I know that the Sims don't do security deposits, but we all know how real life works. And if you want an apartment, you're gonna pay a security deposit. And if you get paint all over the floor and you cannot get it up, guess what? You are paying for that. So I wanted to make sure, again, that I was, I like to stick to real life kind of situations while I am building. So that seemed like something that if you're gonna paint in your apartment, you're probably gonna put something down on the floor. This bedroom here gave me so many problems. I had so many problems trying to figure out what to do here. One of my good friends, Sydney, came up with this really clever idea of taking these little paneling things that we got from Island Living and using them as kind of like the headboard of the Seasons bed, and I loved the idea. It just kind of didn't quite work with the direction that this build was going in. So I did end up taking that out entirely. I am certainly going to be using that in another build because I do think it is a really cute idea. It just didn't quite work for this one. And then I did again try and put, some graffiti on the wall back here. Maybe she's painting on the wall and things like that. And it just, I don't know, it just looked weird. It didn't look right to me. I think I struggled with this because I don't really use these bright, funky, fun colors a lot. I really tend to stick to very traditional kind of styles. I usually pick a color palette and it's just a few colors. And that's kind of what I go with throughout the entire house. So mixing and matching all of these different colors was a little bit harder for me. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit painful because this is not the type of place that I would live in. It's also not how I would decorate something that I would live in or somewhere where I would go. But again, with the San Myshuno stereotypes and with all of my builds, I really do like to tailor it to the sim that is living there. So this sim might be very different from me, but I think this entire apartment really works well for this particular sim. I really do enjoy the way that it turned out. I think it looks great. I think this is exactly the type of apartment that a starving artist would have. Obviously, it is on the more expensive side. I did give her plenty of money to be able to work with. I did not want to struggle with the colors as well as, trying to do all of this on a budget. So I did make sure that, I had plenty of money to be able to work with, and that could be maybe she had an inheritance come to her and she's able to, spend that money on making her apartment look the way that she wants it to look. Maybe her parents are really nice and they're helping her out as far as furnishing her apartment. Maybe some of this was already in the apartment and she's just like really good at refurbishing things, and, I've definitely had friends who have found, like dirty, disgusting looking couches and transformed them into some of the most beautiful things that I've ever seen. I feel like this sim would be pretty resilient in that way, so I wasn't super concerned with the fact that her apartment does not look like she's, very starving as an artist. But of course, I brought another easel to the outside. She has to have plenty of spaces to paint. But we are coming to the end of the video because this was a nice, quick one today. I have to pre-record a lot this week, so I needed to make sure I did something nice and quick for you guys. I really do hope you enjoyed this. Let me know how you feel about combining the Create-A-Sims as well as the apartments for this particular series. I feel like it really works well, but I know some people, aren't super into Create-A-Sims. Some people aren't into builds. So let me know what you guys think on that. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up down below. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel and make sure you hit that little bell so you get notifications whenever I post. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye.